Look at the cut deck. Look at that cut. Somebody had dreams. Welcome back, guys. And I got another one here over at Garch's Garage. We got a Poulan Pro. I can't see the PP2822. This is a machine I got from a fellow, I think maybe a year or two ago, a good solid year, with another one that's missing a whole bunch of stuff. It was a parts machine. The handle was broke off, but it's got another bar. I don't know what else. I'm almost positive he's been in this, okay? So we could find it missing all manner of things, like this missing screws. Somebody was in the carburetor here. It's missing the cover. So it's missing the the whole carburetor is all borked up. It's missing all kinds of stuff here on the carburetor. It's a mess. And he's known for taking things apart and then not putting them back together again, or trying to put them back together, missing stuff. Now I don't know what we could do with it, but I can't sell it. But actually, I like the cutter head on it. It's pretty nice, and I'm going to take a peek in here. We're going to look to see what we have to work with. I might have the parts or some parts for it that we could maybe work with. So let's open it up and see how bad this is. Spins, has some kind of compression, carburetor's a mess. I might be able to make something here similar to whatever else. It's got a different kind of fuel tank set up on there. It goes through a grommet. Not sure what happened here with that. Something's not right there. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let's get it cleaned up a little bit. Let me go find some cleaning solution.
20 minutes later.
All right, it's a little cleaner. Here's the plug. So she was running rich. Let's see if we have any spark. All right, no spark, but it's set to stop. Okay, turn the switch to on. No spark. Oh, there's spark. Could just be wet. That went away. You saw that. I think you guys saw that. And then it went away. So, there it is. All right, there's water from me washing it. I guess it came in through the muffler. Let's start cleaning it up and inspecting it. All right, put some magic juice in. And let's kind of blow some of it through before we do a compression test. Put the rag over it. Alright, that's better. Let's get the compression gauge. Let's see if we get a compression read out of it. Oh, that's no good. Hold on, we gotta get a different drill. That's not gonna work. Let's see if this one has the power. The power. The power of Christ compels you. Oh yeah. That's plenty of compression. Alright, we need to find some kind of carburetor setup and whatever's going on with the fuel tank. Let's climb over on that side. We'll deal with the muffler in a little bit.
Eventually.
I got in the carburetor when I ordered it. I don't know, this is about a month ago, weeks for certain. So comes with everything. Why that's pink, I don't know. But this kit seems to have everything I need. right? This is the original carb that the guy took apart, and you know, looks the same. I gotta find out what adjustment that is, but we're not gonna touch it. Let's find out if just putting a carb in at this point is gonna solve our problems. I do have to clean out the gas tank. It's pretty naggy. I didn't do that. So there's some kind of a bushing in here. I think I have the right lines. So let's find out now. I'm going to take a good look at this, and I'm just going to clean it out really good. I'm going to put a little solvent in it, wash the outside. The carb came with 2 extras of the bulbs and the gasket, so it looks like we have everything I need. Let's get started. I think I seem to remember that we went through it. We had spark, we lubed it. Yeah, I got to clean the plug, but we lubed it. We checked this. I don't know if I adjusted it, but it looks pretty good. We're going to make sure that's tight. All that looks good. We'll get these lubed up a little bit. They're a little stiff. So we got to go over the machine now. I'm going to wipe it down a little bit more. All right. So basically, the only way you can put this on is basically you thread the cable up through, latch it on, and you can see the barrel fits one direction. And then what I did was I pulled this nut all the way back and then turned the cable into the body of the carburetor. And then I start backing it out. And what I'm looking for is 2 things: a balance between having a little bit of slack, so that when it returns to idle, and this is your idle adjustment here, that it will return to idle. But when I'm going to hit the throttle. When you pull the throttle, you get all the throttle, and you can see it's actually kind of hitting the stop there. All right, so let's put this thing on. Let me get a gasket for it. What I thought was interesting is the gasket that was on here did not have the holes in the gasket. And in my view, and there's a hole in the carburetor, so you kind of need these transfer ports. So let's see. Yeah, you get a hole. Now, I don't know if that's going to line up or what's going to happen, so let me look into that, because we have this gasket as well. I don't know how that's going to work, so let me investigate. So we're going to go with this one with the hole here. And notice it lines up. All right. You can see basically it lines up. So let's put this one on. Okay, so this one uses 2 different hole sizes. There's a bushing in here. This bigger size seems to fit pretty well, but just to make sure, we're going to try putting one of these in. Now, I don't know which one I want to use, but as an example, it swells it up, and then we're going to pull it down and into that grommet, and hopefully it will swell it, make a better seal, so just so it doesn't really leak. All right, so I pulled it in. Now, this is a little bit too thick for the carburetor, and it feels like it goes on, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what I did was, just in case, is I had one of these on the correct size hose, so it actually fits there and it goes into this size hose, so it's a good transition. I try to collect these. You can buy them online. Now I stripped this back. This is the correct size hose for here, and we're going to try to shove that in. It's a little tight, which is good. So we're going to have to try to push it in. Let's put a little bit of this on. I'll put a little bit on both of them. We'll sweeten it up. It'll make it a little easier to shove in. That's what she said. Here we go. I'll try to grab it with my forceps. Probably going to have to grab it, twist it. That's what I usually do, is twist it in. It pulls it directly, because you gotta have to pull it. Yeah, see, by twisting it, it kind of pulls it in. And we don't need a lot. We just need to get it up and out, not a lot of room anyway. You have to twist it. It's going. Yep, it's pulling in. Alright, let's see how far we got. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. Alright, look at that. See? Alright, now we can cut this off. Now this is the one that came with it. It's clean. Actually, this one, you can take it apart and clean it. So, I cleaned it out good. Only thing that's holding it together is that O-ring. So we can cut this off. And then just put it right on. See? It comes apart, which is fine. Shove that down there. I can always put another one on if I don't like this one. I think that's it. Alright. Now, that's a screw I need. Hope I have enough. Oh! What happened? Oh, I pulled the wrong one. Duh! Alright, so let's just push this aside. Let's pull this one back in. Let me see if I have another one of those appropriate ones that are a little bit bigger. Can make one too. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There we go. So this is now down in the bottom. We got a little bit of a loop. In fact, you might want to put a little bit more of a loop in, so it lays flat. It's got a twist to it. Alright, so I'm going to get this to lay flat. There we go. It's laying nice and flat. Perfect. Alright, let me see what else I can do. Just a little bit tricky. So, what wound up happening was such a short throw here. Really, really short. And I'll get you zoomed in a little bit closer. I don't know if that's going to seal up, or maybe we can put a clamp on it. And over here, I think I'm going to push a little bit more in. There's a little too much. So I'm going to see if I can push some of that in. Just a little bit, or I may have to take some more off. Hard to say. But we're going to give it a shot. Might want to trim some of that. But it's on. And so, there's some missing hardware here. So I found a nice piece of something. This screw is definitely not the right one. Oh, I found a screw earlier. Yeah, here's one that I found. One like this seems to work a little bit better. Alright, now let me clean up the plug. Yeah, this feels like it's tightening up. That's good. Check these. They're tight. Okay, let's get some oil on this. I'm going to get some regular oil, motor oil. And I got to find the three correct screws, which I think this is one of them. Feels like it. So I got to find these because that's machine. Well, it's kind of like a machine screw. So we're going to want that. And then I can put the hat on. We'll put the plug in. I got to clean up a plug too. That's what was in there. Alright, I got a nice plug. It cleaned it up nice. 25 thousandths. And a little bit of anti-seize on it. You gotta have that. Let's get this in. And then I'll figure out what I want to do for the top. Now, I'm gonna have to get a different setup for this. Oh, maybe not. No, it's not easy to fit it in there. Let's see if we can get it up to the top here. I don't want to break it. Get that gasket sealed. Yep, that's good. Okay, that's done. It's clean in there. Let's put a little moisturizer on it. That's on. Now, when we go to put this on, you can see the boot wants to do its own thing. Alright, now let me find some hardware. I need two more. Alright, a little couple of drops. Good enough. And a couple of drops in here. And put some down by where the spring goes. Pull it. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, now. And I didn't really get to take this apart because it was apart. So he just gave me a bunch of junk to get a little bit of a discount. So they don't go all. Let's put a little lubricant down in everything. This is just a two-stroke with the tranny fluid. These are pretty much the right ones. Real close. They might be a little long, but we'll find out. I don't know if it's engaging. That doesn't feel like it's doing shit. That one broken. That one did something. One of them's not doing anything. Let's find out. Well, it's certainly pulling. This will be short. Some reason or other, this one's not grabbing. I think there's a few more we have to put in here. Let's find out why. Maybe they're different. There's two in the front too, and those must be the plastic ones. So, and there's one over here. So we need to validate. All right, let me go find out what's going on with that. And find the rest of the. Make up some more hardware for it. Aren't you smoking? Yeah. It's two-stroke fuel. Not doing anything wrong. So maybe a little bit. Let's see if it leaks. First test is to see if we have primer infusion. Let's test one. Yep. Oh yeah, I can see it. That's how you know you got it in right. I'll show you. Now, the line that goes, and I'll show you, see, it doesn't really fit right. I don't know what to say about that. Maybe we can put something on that. But the one that goes into the top of the primer bulb is always the return. And the one that goes in the bottom of the carburetor, which I'll show you in a little closer in a minute. Yeah, we'll turn it a little bit for you because I got an open tank. That's the one that always is the feed. All right, let's get the cap on it. Let's do a test. I can tell you the tank is leaking out of those grommets. But if she works, I don't know if we can fix that. It's leaking a lot. Something's leaking. But if it works, then we can solve that problem. I got $15 into it, so if it works, we could put a couple more bucks. This is a couple $100s to this thing. So I don't know how the best way to hold it. Maybe like this. Let's just give it a pull. It's been primed. It's on choke. It's clearing out. It's not smoking as much. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. Hey guys, you see it cleaned up real good. Smoke stopped. This stopped puking out of the exhaust, which we kind of figured. So the only thing left to do is see if I can stop up the fuel tank leak so that it's usable. And I don't think you really can. There's really nothing you can put on that. Like RTV doesn't do it, but we could try putting something on it. Another thing I want to do is I want to see if I can get a filter cover for this or change this out. But if I order parts, I will order the cover and I will order the new grommets and fuel filter assembly, fuel delivery assembly. So we can get all that new because this thing runs great. So it's just leaking and it just needs a part. So let me just see if I can just do a little more cleaning up on this. If you guys don't want to watch any more, it's good, you know it runs and cut out now. Thanks for watching. If not, come back in a little bit and we'll see if we do anything to it. And maybe I'll order the parts sometime in the future and I can have myself a nice machine. I just wanted to show you, this was the parts machine he gave me. No carb, this is all you see. But it's got a nice blade, a nice cutter on it. Might even be a little bit nicer than the one I have on there because it doesn't really look like it's been used. But you get another transmission. So I'm going to loop up the tranny that I have. We want to check inside and see if it can be refilled. It looks like it can. It looks like a spot where you want to do that. And let's see if we can do anything else to it. Maybe we can fix this thing up. Alright, be back in a few minutes. Well, hopefully a few minutes. I'll be back when I'm back. Alright, my guess is you just pump in some grease, but of course, I mean, how the hell do I do that? How many hands do I have? To find a way to kind of pump it in. Try to push it in with my shoulder or something on my side. That's one. Let's try another one. We'll put like 2, 3 pumps. Let's get one more in there for good luck. Yeah, that's probably all you're gonna get. Alright, let me put that back together and let's see what else I can do. Alright, what I did was I put a sock and a rubber band over it for now. And I trimmed this down. And you can see it pulled it in there and it looks like it's expanding that grommet. The grommet might be cracked. And the bottom one, what I did was I just took the slock out, put it into the tank because it was leaning on it, it was causing it to leak. It's not really leaking right now. It might freshen up too, at least for now, because it was getting dry. So let's leave it like this, and a couple more things I want to do, and then we're done.
A few moments later.
Alright, I got all the screws in. Lubed it, put a sock on it. And as you saw, I adjusted everything. It doesn't seem to be leaking right now. I'm going to test it out tomorrow. Okay, a little satin clear on it. It'll dry. Alright, and then when I get a chance, I'll replace those few parts. Alright guys, tomorrow we'll see it run one more time.
Tomorrow for sure.
Alright guys, it's the next day. Well, I think it looks good. I'm going to lubricate the cutter head with some just motor oil before I start cutting today. So we're gonna do that in a little bit, but let's prime it up. It's on choke. So this is with the little fixes and tweaks. I think it'll run good. It's gotta warm up. And I haven't even adjusted the carburetor yet. So obviously the sock is not optimal, but hey, look, it's a sock. You know what you can use too? I have some stocking, nylon stockings. That might even work a little bit better because the sock might be a little restrictive. You can see it kind of sucks in a little bit, so it's probably a little restrictive. I could try a little nylon stocking, like the foot or something. I think I might have that, and I'll put that on there. But I think it looks pretty good, guys.
12 seconds later.
Okay, we got our stocking on. Isn't that sexy? That's hot. Let's do a quick test. But this is the Mac, and it's a really nice machine. I think this is the one I'm going to sell. We're going to test that guy out in a minute, but let's just see. We'll do a quick start. Cold, right? Let's move this out of the way. Front stop. Not bad. I think that surging just might be because it's cold, but again, we haven't tuned it. Now, another thing I could do is take a small piece of foam and just put the piece of foam underneath that. So I might try that a little bit later, but we're going to run it like this first, and let me go oil it, and I think we're good to go, guys. We'll sell the Mac. You know, this is on another video, so you can check out this video, but this one is really nice. It just has the smaller cutting head, but it's a nice machine. All right, guys, we're done with this, and I'm going to go test it. I know I keep saying that, but I like playing with it. All right, that's what she said. Let's see how quick it cuts. Not bad. All right, I'm going to exchange the phone for the ladder. That's much better. That thing was a mess. Cuts like butter. Okay, guys, end of day. It performed flawlessly. Started and stopped, I don't know, 20, 30 times throughout the day. Probably exaggerating, but I did the whole front yard, all the bushes in the front. I refilled the tank once. It's not leaking, so these seals swelled up, and that little fix I made did the trick. It runs great. All right, so we'll leave it here. It's just mine, and we'll move on to the next project. This thing is a real winner. I lucked out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.